Alright, so ESPN came out with a ranking for the toughest sports, alright? Top 60 toughest sports. You know where they put running? This even surprises me, alright? I know people don't respect running, but they put it as 40th. 40th out of 60 toughest sports. 40th. You know, okay, boxing is number one, you know. Boxing's tough, you know. I don't have too many gripes about that. But things like tennis, rodeo, steer wrestling. First of all, who the hell does that besides like people in Texas? That's weird. Volleyball, squash, fencing. Fencing is ahead of running. Figure skating. What is it? This is ludicrous. I mean, I understand that like a lot of people don't respect running, but that's because the majority of people don't understand running. And I looked up a statistic that said 68% of adults 20 years of age or older are overweight. So that's over half the population in the United States. So if 2/3 of the population are overweight, then they're not exactly prime candidates for running, to be good runners. So they're obviously going to be opposed of running, you know. And you know, it's human nature to sort of reject what you're bad at and sort of focus on your strengths, you know what I mean? So you pursue things that you're good at. So obviously football is popular because, I mean, it's exciting obviously, but also all the people that are overweight can still play. They can be linebackers or, you know, linemen or whatever. So, or fullbacks or, so it's more pertains to the general population as a whole, where running is kind of more geared towards the really super thin, athletic. You have to eat really not always, but you know, you excel if you do all these things. It takes more discipline. And you know, a lot of people like to say, oh, well, you're lucky running's even on the list because it's not even a sport. Well, you know what? Cheerleading is on the list, alright? And that's definitely not a sport. Okay? Sorry if any cheerleaders are watching this. But it's too opinionated. If you judge it, there's no, like, objective way to gauge the winner. Oh, they had a better flip, so let's give them a 9. Like, it's too opinionated. I'm not saying that it doesn't take dedication, but anyway, running is definitely a sport, alright? First of all, in the Olympic Games, Summer Olympics coming up this year, what is always the highlight? It's the running. There's like not 100, but there's like, 10 running events or whatever. And there's only one basketball, one this, one that, one that. Track and field is centered around running, alright? And it was running was one of the original Olympic sports when they first started, doing the Olympic Games. And, a lot of people say, well, anyone can run. It's an activity. It's not a sport. First of all, okay, running in the park with a stroller, okay, maybe that's not a sport. But competitive running, that is sure as hell a sport. And when people say anyone can run, that's bogus, alright? Anyone can do anything, okay? But doing it well, that's where the sport comes in. I'll admit that there are differences between running and other sports. Most notably, with running, we don't have as many spectators, fans, we don't have cheerleaders. But then again, I don't really mind because running, it isn't a 3-ring circus, okay? Running, a race is like being in the movie Gladiator. It's intense. It's freaking fierce. It's, people die. Well, I guess, yeah, people have died in marathons. But anyway, so it's running. They don't have cross country, but they just say track and field distance running, which is basically the same thing, except the races are on a track. But it's pretty much the same as just distance running in general. And they put sprinting ahead of distance running. Dude, they do like 100-meter sprints, okay? That's not hard. Running mile repeats or 10-mile runs is way harder. And I will say this. I think this list is too vague. You know, they say, what is the toughest sport? What exactly is that? Physically tough, mentally tough, all around, I guess. I mean, I could see boxing's number one. I could see that. You know, I'm just happy that football's not number one, but in boxing, I can understand that. I'm not saying running has to be the first on the list, but I think running mentally, I think it's mentally tough. I think it's, you know, probably the most mentally tough sport, or at least top like 3. Okay, physically, it's still up there. You know, it might be like a top 10 physically tough sport, top 5, whatever. But see, the thing is, this list, I mean, they have a lot of statistics that, like, categories for ranking that have nothing to do with running, and that's why running's so low. I mean, okay, endurance, obviously running's high. Strength, running is low. Power, running's low. Some of this stuff, let's see, speed, running's a 6 out of 10. Alright, I guess. I mean, you think you don't have to be fast for distance running, but if anyone who doesn't run distance tries to run distance, it feels fast. Alright, running, when the professionals run, like, marathons and shit, faster than anyone could do a mile, that's fast. Alright, agility, low, flexibility, low. Nerves, okay, is a 2. A 2 out of 10. So, apparently you don't get nervous before you run. Are you kidding me? Okay, running is so nerve-wracking. And honestly, to be fair, I think a lot of these sports are nerve-wracking. I mean, just doing a sport is nerve-wracking. NASCAR or auto racing is on here, like NASCAR. Okay, when people say that running, not anyone can do it, but running is not a sport, it's how you do it that makes it a sport. Okay, for instance, NASCAR, a lot of people say that's a sport, even though I tend to disagree because it's too exclusive to, you know, your connections. Not everyone can participate in it. But driving to the grocery store, that's not a sport, but driving a NASCAR in NASCAR is. So it's how you drive. Same thing with how you run. Yeah. I just can't believe figure skating is ahead of running. That is just a travesty. So what do you guys think? Where do you think running should be on this list? Do you think these categories are bogus? I mean, some of these are like handling, durability. Okay, durability. On running, for durability, track and field distance running is only a 5.75 on durability out of 10. Okay, running, you get hurt all the time. If you guys watch my videos, I'm always hurt or something's going on. Now, I'm not saying, I think football is higher durability, you know, higher injury prone than running, but I would say running is definitely up there. It's definitely like top 5, top 10 for sure on injury prone. It's so high impact. And basketball is the 4th toughest sport. Are you kidding me? That is BS. That is so much BS. See, the thing is, a lot of these sports on here at the top take a lot of skill. But it doesn't mean it's the toughest sport. It just means maybe it takes a multitude. It takes the most combination of skills. So I guess it's fair to say that these top sports take the most practice, maybe. But I wouldn't say they're the toughest. There's a difference. Okay, there's a big difference. But I think the toughest sports, not these categories, just in general, I would say boxing, wrestling, martial arts, water polo for sure, rugby, distance running, what else? Badminton is above running. It's number 30 on the list. That's bogus. Alright, golf on here is number 51 out of 60. Now, I hate golf. I think it's boring as shit, and it's not fun, and I think it's stupid. But I think it's tougher than 51st, okay? It's below canoeing, kayaking and canoeing. Golf is tougher than kayaking and canoeing. Golf takes an absurd amount of patience, and it takes so much talent. And, I mean, even the best in the world, like Tiger Woods, struggles, you know what I mean? Like, it is really hard. If you actually play it, I think golf should be higher, and I'm just going to support the golfers. I think it should be higher. I'll put the link in the description. You guys can check the list out yourself. Let me know, what do you think was too high or too low? What would your list be? Alright guys, I'm out.